This is just AMZN on Tuesday, January 5th, 2021. Got a little bit of a different look. All right, it's a lot of a different look than I just did in the video yesterday. And so I've got Amazon on the daily in the top left. I've got Amazon on the 5 minute on the top right. I've got the 3300 call expiring this Friday on the bottom left. And I've got the 3100 put expiring this Friday on the bottom right here. And I drew in, so I went ahead and did this before starting the video just to have everything drawn in, not trying to do it live during the video and talking through it. So let me explain what I've got, and then we'll dive into the options a little bit more. So if you focus in on the circles, the ovals, if you see what's happening on the 5 minute here, this is obviously where everything's moving during the day, the intraday and the 5 minute, and because of how things move here, you get the options moves down here and down here. So if we watch the open, so it gapped down a little bit and just faded. It just roared higher for 25 minutes, and then it started to consolidate up here. And as the 5 minute is consolidating, there's different things happening with the calls and the puts, obviously, but they are also consolidating, just doing it in different ways. So the blue line here shows the kind of path that the calls were taking to drop here in a very similar way, but much steeper. And at the same time, the blue line here is tracking how the puts were just going flat. And it seems odd for that to happen. It's like, oh, look, we're going to break out. It's going to continue higher. The calls should be, staying steady and going higher, but they didn't. And then it ultimately rolled back down. So it was a bearish retest gap, and this was the retest, and this was the S curve and the rollover. And so it actually makes sense that it would do an S curve in the bearish direction and go higher in the put. Simple as that. So it consolidated, give you a really nice base right around 10 bucks here. And if you got in 10 by 9 in exit at 12, that's 2R. Could have held for longer, and we can talk about what that could look like also by looking at the call. So at this price up here, and actually I'll point to kind of all of this because I couldn't really draw an exact line. The high here really matches with the candles over, let's see, what time is that? 9:30 to 10, 9:30 to 10. So that matches up with right over here. Let me get my other drawing tool. No, I do want the other drawing tool. This one. There we go. So this area in here is where this option is getting to and where this price is getting to here. We're not quite to the pink line. Okay, so I'm gonna get rid of that. So it retraced quite a bit and then came back down, and this area and this area and this area all kind of match up, right? Bottom, top. Yeah, okay. And time, like, it's easy to see between these two because, okay, if that was a straight line. Actually, I realized while I was doing this, I can draw a straight line by getting the straight line drawing tool. So these line up, and it's just harder to draw this, pointing over here. But basically, yeah, these line up too. Okay, so I know this looks even messier now, but it's just kind of fun to follow along with just drawing lines. That's all we're doing, right? So let me get rid of these. Okay, when this comes down to this low, why would anybody be buying here? Well, it had a similar price to the open. You really could have set this up like 9 by 8, and that would have worked here. Kind of here, you would have had to exit early, and then here, depending on where you exited, and then actually would have worked again at the end of the day. So if you had exited at 10, just getting an R, if that's the plan to just scalp it for an R because it's counter trend, great. Would have worked in each of these places to go 9 by 8, target at 10, get 1, 2, 3, 4 R's doing that. And that's a good day. That's a really good day, actually. So what I also want to look at is where these things are kind of stopping. So the blue lines, like I said, up here is where this is kind of stopping and rolling down. Same thing here. The price moved up, and I can point at any of these, but the price moved up. Well, not any of them. I can point at the 5 minute um, on the on Amazon and the 5 minute on the call, but the 5 minute on the put, it went down to the blue line here, and conveniently, this is the same area. Oh yeah, I still have the straight line drawing tool. That's why I can't. I like to do the squiggle line. There we go. So this area is the same place that we had that yellow circle or oval over here. And so you can see how much it's moved when it was over here on the 5 minute to over here on the 5 minute is really the same place on the put. And it's really putting in a base here, literally putting in a base. Okay, so this could be another setup on the put to get in at 10 and exit at 12. And that would have worked again here. And then as it's approaching this area, actually, I think I drew this. Let's see, that was the 12 o'clock. Yeah. So this is where you'd want to be getting out of that. And so this line where it came right back down to this same level and right back down to this same level is where you'd want to be exiting that bearish trade and looking for it to reverse. And sure enough, it reversed and went up. And this went down back to the blue. And so again, you can do the same thing again. You can trade back and forth and try to play both directions. Totally works. The other thing I wanted to point out, so that's all the choppiness here, putting in some bases, putting in some highs, and or some supports, some resistances during the late morning. And then the other interesting thing here is the orange circle. So this has gone past the blue line. So we clearly broke out on this candle. Really nice bullish candle breaking out through this high. It retests a little bit. That's a one candle little flag. It actually had a little bit of a bigger flag here. But what's really interesting is the blue line that I drew this high. This line corresponds to this same blue line here at the high, and the blue line dropped down further. What's really interesting, and this is one thing I love about options, and it's that even if you missed the breakout, and even if the retest doesn't come all the way back down like you would want it to on the option, I'm sorry, on the stock itself, the option can give you an entry because you could have gotten in again here. It didn't go as high away and didn't come back down as far. It just went up a little bit, came back down, gave you the same blue price, and now I'm drawing all over this, but the same blue price has been right around like 10 bucks. Okay. You could have been getting in at 10 and stopped down at 9 and just hope to see if that entry would fill. And if you did the same thing in the stock, let's say you set the entry at 3,200 and your stop was wherever, maybe down here, 3180 or wherever your stop was, with $100 risk, you could have gone, so you could have done 3,200 by 3190, and that would have been 10 shares, and that's $10 times 10 of the times 10 shares, and that's $100, and it would not have filled, right? Because it didn't come back to 3,200. That's what I'm saying. On the call, it came back to that price. And it actually came back to the price on this candle and then came back further on this and this candle. Then it started to bounce. So these candles really, you could have gotten, actually, these may have also been at 10 also. We can check when we dive into the 10 minute or into the 5 minute call. And then from there, you're just looking for a breakout and probably exit at a similar high. And a similar high would have been this price, and that would have been around like 12. So getting in 10 by 9, target at 12, done. That's another R based on a breakout. So again, just looking at how these things work, how the options work, the call and the put work at different things happening, different directions going on. Take a screenshot of this, look at it, kind of go click through, see how this works on different days. This being a Tuesday, we've got a few more days till Friday's expiration. It moves differently every day. You may see some better basing on some days when it's going sideways a bit. and usually Fridays the premium is just getting sucked out of it entirely, and so you have a lot of days where it's just going down. So it works differently on different days. So don't expect it to base like this different the same way on a Friday versus today a Tuesday. So just beware of that. All right, so I'm going to clear all that, and we'll jump into I can remember how to maximize. There we go. Okay. So here is the 3,300 call. The interesting thing about this is you could have really set this up. You would have had to have it set up pre-market, getting it at 9, or just been really quick. I don't know how long this took. Obviously, some portion of 5 minutes to go down a little bit and be in this range to fill, or look for the same price. So, like I said, getting it at 9, you would really been kicking yourself like, oh no, I'm going to get stopped out, and it doesn't get down to 8 and only gets back up to 10. um, and then if you held through that, didn't move a stop, as long as you didn't move your stop, it looks like you would have been okay. If you had a stop at 8, it's possible with uh, any sort of slippage and things with a broker that it could actually have come down and hit that price. Maybe nobody had a stop at $8 at this point. There's 50 contracts traded this 5-minute candle. This is the lowest that it came in the day. But what's really nice about this is you can see that the price came down a little bit more from here to here and then to here. And this was really the bottom of the option, even though it wasn't the bottom of the stock. So this was the bottom. This is where the bottom of the option came in, but it's actually, it's higher than this, obviously, and this one's higher than that one, and this one's higher than that one. So again, it's just interesting looking at how these move and seeing where the price can be that you want to play, and being patient for it. That's the biggest thing, is being patient for that price to come in, and having it set up to hit it. So we can see now that we're zoomed in. So the low on this one was 10. So maybe would have been filled on that one, maybe not. But this candle, well, after the breakout candle, any one of these candles could have filled you for $10. So that's 6 candles. That's 30 minutes. You could have, after this breakout, you could have had that set up for 30 minutes, and it would have filled at 10. Now you also could have seen that, oh, this pulled back a little bit. I wonder if I can get a 950 fill. This one would not, would not, would not. Oh, this one did. So that's the other thing with the option, is maybe you get another pullback similar to the one right after the candle after the breakout. And that would have just given you a little bit more of a buffer, down to a lower stop. So 950 by 850. And again, go for 2 hours. That's 1150. Would have filled, would have gotten you out at your target there. So again, just looking at how the options move, looking at getting $100 risk. This is far out as I wanted to look at how things were moving today, and we'll see how that changes for tomorrow. We may be able to stick with the same options if we're right around 3,200. We'll see if we keep getting a push higher, but so far it's starting to push up a little bit. And so, like I ended yesterday on the hourly, zoomed out here, this is okay right now. This is looking like it's a nice bounce off of this apex here. So right back into the 21 exponential on the 1 hour. This is like a 2 candle stair step right here. We'll see if we can continue. That's a continuation pattern. So we'll see if we can continue. If we do pull back, I guess this is a little bit of a double bottom here. Neckline. So there's some reversing patterns in here, and we really need to get an hour close above the 21 to keep some momentum going. We did get above this candle's open today, and the next one would be up here around 32. What's that? 32.36, and then the next one up here, 32.68.95. So those are the next couple of targets on the hourly to see if we can push through those. But we've got decent volume going sideways here some more. A little bit lighter than we had this breakout, the volume, but we'll see if we can get moving. We had some nice opening volume today too. So anyway, that's all I got. Hope this helps. This is Just AMZN. Thanks.